Hey everybody. Real quick, well, actually not a real quick, this is going to be a longer video. I have been involved in a lot of discussions on the qualities of different axes, different hatchets, and different things that are considered to be kind of gadgety. And through various means I have come across two hatchets that have integral saws in them. And then just as comparison, let me start off with.
Told you it was a little bit of a pain in the butt.
We got the SC Axe 9, which has a built-in, okay fine, you gotta push the button, do that way, a built-in folding saw. We've got, close that.
A couple of locking positions.
I've promised my wife I would try to come home with at least 9 fingers today, so I'm being somewhat careful. One that has gotten a lot of bad rap, but I've never seen reviews on it, so I don't know where everybody's getting their bad opinions of it. And a friend of mine got one for me, and so I'm going to give it a review here today. And that is the Zippo 4-in-1 Woodsman, which I think 4-in-1 is a bit of a stretch. It does have an axe on it we're going to test out. It does have a hammer pole on it, and it has a built-in saw. They're saying that is for pulling tent stakes, and they're calling that an extra tool. Okay then. We're not going to be pulling tent stakes today, but we are going to try using it as a hatchet, and we're going to try using it as a saw. As kind of a control on the chopping, I've got my Fiskars X7. And to make everything nice and fair on the chopping, I'm not going to go out and grab a piece of wood here from where we're at because it's been raining really bad for over a month. Everything out here is soggy as hell, and
we're technically not supposed to.
Everything tapers really badly, so trying to get even and fair chops would be bad. So for the chopping aspects of this, I got a 2x4. That's not a 2x4.
This is not a 2x4.
For the chopping aspects of this, I grabbed a 2x4. And it's a fairly dry 2x4. It's ready to go. So, but it will be even throughout the length of it, so all the chops will have a fair surface to be cutting. And then for the saws, I got a 2x2, because for the most part, if I'm using a folding saw, I'm probably not going to be cutting things bigger than around 2-inch diameter on average. Now, because the Zippo turns into a bow saw, I brought my Sven saw to compare it to. And because the Schrade is a folding saw, not only am I going to compare it with the Bahco, I have several folding saws. I chose the Bahco because a large percentage of people have used one, so they'll be able to compare apples to apples. And just to throw it in, because the axe is a Schrade, and I have one, I brought the SC Saw 1 Schrade folding saw, which, when compared to the Bahco, is almost exactly the same. Your cutting surface is like 4 teeth shorter, and I will say that the Schrade has more aggressive teeth, but the Bahco is a known entity by most people that are going to watch this. The Schrade is similar in size, so we're just comparing it because it's Schrade to Schrade. And then I brought my Sven saw for the Zippo. That's about the end of that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do on the comparison is on the hatchets, I want to compare the masks. Of the three, the only mask that I find easy to put on and off is the Fiskars X7. The Schrade mask is very solid, it's well made. I have no problem with that. The problem is trying to get it over the hammer pole. A pain in the ass. You gotta like push and wiggle it to get it over the hammer pole. Same thing when you're removing it and you're pulling it down. You gotta spread it open to get it over the button that holds the saw safe. Which personally, I don't think that really needs to be there because opening the saw isn't that easy. It's not hard, but it's not that easy.
And you'd probably be holding it so it wouldn't open either way.
The Fiskars mask, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. You flip it and you're out. You drop it, flip it, and you're back in. The Zippo mask is kind of a unique situation because you unscrew this until you hear it tick. Then it opens up to expose your axe. And when you want to use the saw, you pull the saw blade out. You set the hatchet back in the mask. That pin hooks on one end of the saw, and there's a hook down here on the handle for the other end. You close it and screw it down, and the mask becomes your handle for the saw. You'll see that in action shortly. Now, I'm going to say that because of my physical situation, Jack is going to be your axe and saw operator for today. And would you rather do it on the big log or the little log, the little stick?
Actually, I was thinking of aiming it between these and putting it.
You don't really want to have
I was
it
talking
out
about
in
for
the
the
air.
saw.
Well, for the saw, yeah, but we're chopping first.
Oh. Big.
Okay. So we're going to move the camera, and we've talked about Jack a lot. You've seen his hand a couple of times. I think his ear popped in once or twice. Today he's going to be the star, and I'm going to be the camera guy.
I was in during the contest video, doing the trap
That's true.
and the striker, I think.
And so, yeah, we're going to pause it, and we're going to set up for the chopping. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Okay, this is a construction grade Doug Fir 2x4. All of the axes, all of the hatchets except for the Fiskars are fresh out of the package. When I got them, I kept them fresh so that when we did this comparison, you'd see how they came to me. The Fiskars I've had for a long time, so I've touched it up a little bit. It should be pretty decent sharp at the moment. But the other two are fresh out of the package. I have not sharpened them, and I have not hit anything with them. Count your strokes, Jack. How many is that?
I think it was 9, 10, something like that. I lost count right when you asked. Okay, I'm going to move it down and I'm going to start over. You can keep that in there to make people laugh.
Hold on. I am going to hold this so your hand isn't in the way. Hit it hard. And we want 20 out of each.
Okay.
Just to, so we can mark where the, here, come towards me from that.
You got it?
I got it.
Missed on that one.
Yeah, well, still counts.
So that's 10. There's 20.
Okay. Come down a little bit and use the next one.
I didn't even barely touch it. Zippo
Okay,
next.
this tree has been dead for 50 or 70 years.
Yes.
It's basically a sponge that's wood designed.
With a whole bunch of dirt mixed in because
Yes.
decompose.
Okay. Zippo.
Where's this one get held? Right where it is?
Actually flip that thing down out of your way and just grab it where it's comfortable. 20 chops.
I don't think this is gonna make 20 chops. At least if I get them accurate.
Okay, that was 16.
Then I missed one when I was counting.
Okay. Get the other one. We're only going to go to 16 on that one just because we're feeling lazy. And
it chopped through. I think
it
that's
kind of finished. Okay, and now this is the Schrade SC Axe 9. Calm down.
I think I split a little bit down lengthwise.
Pull it toward, there you go. Straighten up. There you go.
How many was that?
I don't remember. You're supposed to be
I
counting.
think it was 7.
Okay, 7. Try to aim a little better. You keep hitting that very back corner. Keep going. That was 19. One more.
Okay. I think the Zippo one.
Okay, chopping, it looks to me like the Zippo 1. Don't go away. No, I mean you too. I see you. You're getting ready to get up. Nope, sit back down. We'll be right back. Good to go? Okay, real quick. To turn the Zippo into a saw. Now there are 2 blades inside this handle. And I would say, looking at it, I could probably fit 2 more in there if I really wanted to. That being said, I'm going to take this mask, set the hatchet back in the mask, got this blade, and it seems to be a bidirectional blade, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to hook that on there, close the mask and screw it down. And then I'm going to hook the smaller, or the second hole on that one. No, I'm not going to hook the second hole on that one because that said no. I'm going to hook that, and I'm going to pull it and that tension to my blade. So that is how you turn that into a bow saw. And for anyone who is not familiar with the Sven saw, when speed is not your main concern, Sven saw is your friend.
One thing I found out, be careful of your positioning of fingers. Kind of gets pinched between the wood sometimes if you
That is
use
an
those.
aggressive damn saw. So we're going to flip back over to Jack and let him do some saw work. Be back.
Hello. So I'm supposed to be doing the yakety schmackety this time, so I'm gonna be cutting this with the saws. Not the axes this time. Where's the first saw you want me to use?
Go ahead and use the Zippo. It's set up.
Okay. Tell me when you're holding it.
I'm holding it. Hold on, stop. Give me my phone.
Why?
We're gonna time it.
Oh. Then I guess I'm starting at a different...
Yes.
Okay then.
Okay. I'm gonna be using my phone timer here.
See how he is?
See how long it takes since... Now this is a 2x2, construction grade 2x2 Doug fir. This will give us a consistent cutting resistance, so all of these will be pretty fair.
Tell me when
Okay,
you're
on your
start.
mark, get set, go. Okay, that was 12.2 seconds. And part of that was having a hard time getting started.
Jumping off at the corner.
Okay, the Sven saw, comparing the bow to the bow. Hold on. On your mark, get set, and go.
On rounder, it works easier.
Okay, that was 12.1 seconds.
And that's with the getting started difficulties.
Yeah. Now we're going to do the Schrade SC Axe 9 folding saw first. And where this has two positions.
Where'd the other folding saw go? Oh. This one will be after that one. Timer.
And go. Okay, that was 11.58. Of course, that is a little bit longer of a saw, but hey, this is a test on how it can do using it. So using it's what we're doing. Now this is the SC Saw 1.
Yes.
SC Saw 1. And go.
Easier to get started, but also falls out if you do a little too far of a stroke.
Okay, that was 11.1. And last but not least, the perennial favorite of bushcrafters and people who think it's really cool to have folding saws, the Bahco Laplander.
Which I just found out has a little bit of a difficult button to press.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you set?
Yes.
Oh, you wanted me to tell you to go?
Ah.
Okay, go. Alrighty then, 7.4.
With a clean cut, kind of, mostly. Other than when it jumped once. Putting that there.
Okay, that was actually kind of fun to do. And I would like to point out that even though it looks kind of silly, that Zippo did a pretty dang good job on both sawing and chopping. But I'm going to let Jack talk about, okay, now of the three hatchets, which one was the most comfortable in your hand? I'm not talking about how good they cut. When you were swinging them, which one was the most comfortable?
I'd say probably the Zippo as well for the shape of my hand versus the shape of that
Okay.
handle.
And then between the Schrade and the Fiskars.
Between those two, the Fiskars. My hand is a little bit smaller than my dad's. Not as small as some of the people I've seen on YouTube, though.
Yeah, there's some people with small hands on YouTube. That is true. But that's not what we're here talking about today. Okay, for comfort of using them as a saw,
That'd probably be the Schrade.
the Schrade or the Zippo
Schrade.
was more comfortable as a saw.
It was easier to
Now, are you
hold.
talking about the hatchet or the Schrade folding?
The hatchet.
Okay, so the Schrade hatchet saw combination was more comfortable
Then the
than
Zippo.
the Zippo.
Yes.
Okay,
It was an easier push and pull.
okay. As far as comfortable for your actual hand though, squeezing it, same answer?
Yeah, you just have to get it a similar angle to one of these instead of one of these.
Okay. And the Schrade folding saw that's not an axe or hatchet, how did that compare to the Bahco Laplander in comfort holding it?
About the same for holding. And the push and pull was a little bit harder, but I think that's the teeth shape.
Harder on which one?
The Schrade
Okay.
is a little bit more difficult, probably because of the teeth shape.
So the Bahco was a little easier to cut with and they're about the same for comfort?
Yeah.
Good to go. And now this is a well-known breakdown bow saw type thing. How was this comfort-wise compared to the Zippo? Because that's more of an apples to apples comparison.
I preferred that to the Zippo.
Okay,
For what that's called though. So
Sven.
Sven.
But I think what we learned today, and I'm a little bit surprised. 'Cause like I said, I heard a lot of bad stuff about that Zippo, and most of what I heard about was, well, it looks this, it looks that, it doesn't look this, or it doesn't look that. It's the first time I've seen it run side by side with other saws, side by side with other hatchets. I gotta say that in my own personal opinion, it's probably not going to be a tool that I carry a lot, but if that is what I had, and I needed to build a shelter, I needed to gather and prepare firewood, it is a fully capable chopper. It chopped actually better than
The other two.
the others. It's a mostly capable saw, and it's kind of silly looking.
Yes.
I will say that all three of those have fairly similar size and hardness of hammer poles. I've used the Fisker hammer pole a couple of times. Like I said, they're similar in shape, they're similar in ability. I don't think that the hammer pole should be a deciding point on any of those. The Schrade performed fairly well. Right off the top, I know I need to sharpen that Schrade. I think I need to touch up the Fiskers a little bit too, because I forgot we had done a little bit of pruning with it since the last time I sharpened it. But that Schrade definitely needs to be closer to my sharpening equipment before it comes back out in the woods. But it also seemed to be a fairly capable chopper, a fairly capable saw. In my own personal gear, I will probably continue to carry either the Fiskers because of how small it is, or quite possibly the Schrade. That will probably be in the rotation of stuff that I use on a regular basis.
And
What's your opinion on that?
if we both are bringing out an axe out of the three, as an axe, I like the Zippo. It was the least power had to be put into it to get the most chunk.
I would like to point out part of that is because it does have the longest handle, so you are using it with better leverage.
Yeah.
It also had a thinner blade profile, which does a good job. I mean, it's a fairly capable axe. I do not dislike either the Zippo or the Schrade.
I think I would rather use one of these than the Zippo saw, though. Mostly because those are easier for the movements.
Yeah. I will, as a wrap up on it, I'm going to say very capable of doing the job.
Looks really funny.
Wouldn't be my first choice simply because the setup on it is slow. The setup on that actually took me longer than the Sven saw, and the Sven saw's been made fun of by some people for how long it takes to set up. Part of that might have been that it's only the third time I've done it, but I don't know, it's a capable tool. It probably will not be top of my list on rotation. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you learned something from it. And maybe give a like, a thumbs up. If you know, pass it around to your friends. I'm tired.
Subscribe.
I don't know what else. Yeah, do that. I'm sorry. I've had a long week today.
Eat a can of ravioli, people.
We have a couple of more videos we're going to try to shoot today, so if you see a video of me later and I seem even more tired, that's why. But have a great day. We're having fun. We are in the tree. Show them the trees. How can you not have a good day when you're sitting under a redwood canopy?
Really tall trees, by the way.
All right, wrap it up. That's it.